You're listening to the Sherock podcast series with our host, Phiwe Mncwabe of South Africa and our guest, Kgaugelo Gracious Napo, participant of the Sherock Female Accelerator program.
So how are you finding the program so far?
It's been very interesting. Some things I took for granted. I thought I know these things. When you think of just doing a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, but I just knew a PowerPoint presentation. I hadn't thought of the other platforms that exist. And actually, I realized, there are other platforms, and like Canvas, I found it very exciting. Like, it's very exciting for me. And I was like, I was just stuck on PowerPoint when there's another option out there. And also with emails, just how you can just manage your emails, and because you can be overwhelmed with the many emails that you get. So I was very also impressed, and like, I took this for granted that, okay, just get email. Then sometimes it's a lot, and then you just have to take some time to go through them. So when you manage them, you actually can be more efficient in responding to your emails and getting rid of emails that are not necessary, and just being on top of the ball in terms of your email. And what I also enjoyed the most was the strategy planning session. That really was impactful for me, especially not just for somebody who's going to business, but for me as a person in terms of my life and my purpose or vision that I have for my life, how I want to go about reaching the goals that I need, and how to just structure my life and treat myself also as a business, have a plan and implement how to get to the goal.
Sure. I just love what you said about email management, because we tend to take it for granted as well. Because I also slack in that area. So me also being on the program, yesterday I realized the importance of really having a sort of a system to manage your emails. So I really love what you said about that. And since the Sherock program is basically trying to refine the skills of women who are on career breaks due to family responsibilities, childbearing responsibilities, or even unemployment is a forced career break. So could you share with us more about your career break?
Well, I fall under the first career break because I am on a career break only because I'm not finding work, not by choice, not by any family responsibility. So I studied journalism and media studies, a diploma, and I graduated many years ago. So since then, I've been doing odd jobs here and there, and volunteering at different places, but never quite getting a job in the industry, in the journalism or broadcast industry. Till in 2018, I got an internship at the SABC. Actually, I got an internship there to be a journalist. So that was exciting, especially besides that the work itself is exciting. Being a journalist is if you're interested in the career, is such an interesting and exciting job to be in. So, but also for the fact that I was actually doing something that I went to school for, something I spent years studying and spent so much money paying towards. So finally I was putting those skills to use. So that was very fulfilling for me, that finally that the certificate is not just a piece of paper anymore. I'm actually putting it to use. And then that internship ended, and just as it ended, I then went into e-media, which I was under ENCA, e-media as an ETV, ENCA, the news channel. So I was also there for a year. There I was in the news archiving, audio and visual archiving department. So it wasn't as exciting as being on the field, being a journalist, but it was also an interesting place to be in, just to learn archiving in media, because I do also have a certificate in records and archives management. So that's how I was able to get into that. So I always just imagined archiving papers and books, and even the assignments we did. I remember there was one assignment we had to go to National Archive Institute, as in the national government one, where
Mhm.
I went into the library. It was just books and old tapes and stuff. It was not really super exciting for me personally. But there
Oh.
at media, because it was broadcast, we are archiving videos that are being aired every day, visuals that are journalists are going out there and taking, and we are deciding what is archive worthy and editing those visuals and putting them together when there are requests for all the visual written criteria visuals. So then it ended up being an exciting adventure, or rather time and an experience rather, and an exciting experience. So that contract also ended, so now back to being a job seeker.
You back to being a job seeker. Oh, okay. You've got so much extensive experience. You know, I can hear even how you speak. You are so passionate, and I really, really love that, and I admire that so much. Can you share some of your concerns or rather challenges that you experienced in your career break? As you're saying, you are on a forced career break because of unemployment. What are some of the concerns or the challenges that you experience? Maybe.
The challenges, first one that comes to mind is that they always want years of experiences in jobs that I want to apply for. They want years of experiences that I don't have. Minimum would be like 3 years. Most of the times like 5 years and over, and I don't have those. And then other than that, it would be internships, graduate programs. Those are the ones that don't require experience. But in terms of actual jobs where you'd be employed, permanent positions, it's always high number of experiences that I don't have. So for me, the main challenge is just getting my foot in. And I thought I had my foot in, but then the place where I had been in could not take me in. So now it's always that challenge of getting a foot in. It seems as if to go in as an intern is the best way, because you get in without the experience, and then if you can stick in there, get some years experience, and then from there you can move around to different companies. Other than that, I'm just trying to figure out, and also in retrospect, I'm thinking maybe when I was in college, I should have looked into doing internships and volunteering or spending my time in actually going to the companies where I want to work in, and just seeing if I can get my foot in the door like that while I was still in varsity. So maybe that, in retrospect, I'm thinking maybe I should have done that, because now getting in is quite challenging.
So, Kgaugelo was you were just sharing with us some of your concerns and challenges that you're experiencing in your career break. And you mentioned something that's very, very valid in terms of experience. The job market is so vast that entry level posts are very it's very difficult to find uh, permanent positions, especially when you want to enter the job market. And it tends to discourage a lot of candidates to apply. Hence, you find the unemployment rate in South Africa keeps on rising. And you also read in the statistics that they publish that some people end up giving up. It's not that people aren't applying, they end up giving up. Maybe one of the reasons could be the what you mentioned, the number of experiences. However, with that said, I know that as much as we experience challenges when we are trying to enter the job market, there are certain lessons that these career breaks teach us. So what are some of the lessons that you have learned during the course of you searching for employment? Because I remember in one of the sessions, Ash, the HR expert from Vodafone Ghana, said the years we spent at home are not in vain. There's something you learn from staying at home or looking after your family at that moment. So, what are some of the key lessons that you've learned whilst you're searching for employment?
What I To not stop developing myself, and I'm always trying to learn new skills and to create opportunities. I think to create opportunities where you can, in terms of my case with being on a forced career break, not for somebody who's has family responsibilities. In terms of me specifically, I would say creating opportunities where I can, and trying to keep my time occupied, trying to keep busy, because as I keep busy and keep myself busy, I'm exposed to people out there, and I'm practicing interacting with people, because if I've noticed that when I'm just at home and just in front of the computer, or just doing whatever, just applying and just waiting for a call, I can easily get into a space where I shut out the world and I don't interact with people, and I'm just in a place where I'm just depressed and I just feel sorry for myself about this the situation I'm in. And it's not a nice place, it's really a dark place to be in. So when I keep myself busy, I volunteer, I use my time, my mind then keeps busy, and I don't have to think about all the things that are not going accordingly in my life, because then I'll always have something to do and I'm always with something. So that's what I've learned, to keep your time, keep yourself busy, so you don't find yourself in a space where you're just concentrating on everything that's going wrong, and to create opportunities, and to up your skills, learn new skills, and also not to box myself in one thing, because an opportunity can arise in a field that I'm not really too excited or too passionate about, but through that could lead to another a door or an opportunity where I'm actually interested in. I've heard stories like that, nothing specifically with me that happened like that, but I've heard people that landed jobs, that they dream jobs, through doing something that they didn't necessarily like. So yes, and I've also, I've learned to appreciate taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally, and how to just appreciate that life can sometimes be a lot, and you must just keep yourself mentally and emotionally healthy so you can tackle things. And I can those are the ones I can think of right now. There's probably more things, but yeah, there's a lot of, like I was saying with the challenges, that in retrospect, I'm thinking when I was in college, I should have done more networking and tried to connect myself more in with companies while I was still in varsity, so that just to get some sort of foundation going before I actually get out, instead of just resting on, okay, I'll just graduate and get a job. So that's something also in my time of being unemployed I've thought about as well, and I've learned that, okay, don't wait to finish, start getting the ball rolling while you're still learning the skill.
Sure. You're very proactive, and I think you should not, forget that. I think you should bear in mind that no years are lost, and each and every year you've accounted in some or other way, and you should not be hard on yourself. Like, you are doing the best that you can, you are trying your best to network, and you keeping your mind working, because the most important thing with especially being on a forced career break due to unemployment is staying relevant. When I think of the program, I just remember the importance of staying relevant, and that's what you've been doing all these years. You've been staying relevant, you've been upping your skills, you've been refining your skills, you've been trying to stay in the market, although you are not indirectly in the market, however you are present. So I don't think that you should be hard on yourself. However, you have done so much, and you should not be hard on yourself. Firstly, Kgaugelo, I don't think that you've lost any years. I feel that every year you've accounted for every year because you're so proactive. You have been trying to stay relevant in the market, and that's the whole idea of Sherock. You've been trying to refine your skills. So I don't feel that you should be hard on yourself. However, I applaud you for that. I applaud you for taking a step in refining your skills and not just sitting and waiting for an opportunity to present itself. Because I've seen with unemployment, especially in South Africa, is that many young people will just sit and wait for an opportunity to arise, whereas in that space where we're sitting at home, we could be refining our skills. So I personally believe that you're very proactive, and I applaud you for staying relevant in the market. You're doing amazing work with that, with yourself. And I just wanted to find out, what are some of the key lessons that you're taking with you after the program?
So far, one of the key lessons I've learned is to have a part of the strategy planning session is to have a clear vision of where I want to see myself as a person, as an individual, or in my career. Have a clear vision uh, written out clearly as to this is where I want to end up, and with goals in between, in terms of short-term goals as to, okay, first I need to achieve this, second step to achieve that, and third step, so on and so forth, until I get to the vision or the purpose that I believe that this is where I'm meant to be. And with the goals then, or to start then putting in action strategy as to how will I achieve that goal, how will I achieve the next goal, and then from there start actually doing the work. And I think that's where I really need to push myself, because I have all these ideas, and then there's platforms and opportunities here and there, but it's just a matter of me putting in the action, me getting up and actually doing the stuff that I need to do. So I think when I have a clear laid out picture, that will help me, because now all these ideas are just in my head, and I see something on the internet, or I hear about something, oh, that would be interesting. I hear something there. So I need to just put my focus. So yes, to focus and have a clear laid out plan and how I'll get to the end. So that's a key lesson I've learned so far.
Oh, lovely, lovely. I'm just remembering the whole crisis communication plan because, you never really know what's going to happen. You've got this plan in mind, and something, your plan just fails. Because I remember I've had so many strategic plans, and many of them were continuously failing. And it for me, it was more about myself. It reflected on me, and I went through points in my life where I looked at myself as a failure because of these plans that have been failing. So when Dr. Ike mentioned that the plan failed, not you, that for me just stood out. And it just reminded me to continuously have these plans in mind and trying my best to refine them as I go. And yes, when I fall off the wagon, I continuously bring myself up. I also wanted to find out from you, Kgaugelo, um, COVID-19 and your career break. How was that? How was that on your mental health?
Well, for me, because at the time I was actually I was busy with the recent contract that just ended. So then they told us to go on lockdown. And I think all the contract people that were on contract were all told to go on to lockdown. I think also the company didn't want to be too responsible for us. So I had to be at home full time, just abruptly. That stopped just as I was getting excited for this. And because it was a 12-month contract, that meant that the 12 months of getting as much experience or exposure as I can in this environment was now being reduced. So firstly, for me, that I was a bit disappointed in that oh, there goes my 12 months. And then being at home, for me, being at home not having anything to wake up to do in the morning and the whole day not having anything to do doesn't affect me. It affects me negatively. It takes me to a not so good place where I'm just feeling depressed. I don't know if I can say depressed, so because I'm not diagnosed like that, I know it's a serious issue. To me, feels it's a depressing feeling to me personally. So at the beginning, it was fun that, okay, I wasn't too worried or too scared about the virus itself because I was just indoors. So I was not too worried about being exposed. Unlike people that were going to work where they would have to consciously be worried about being exposed to the virus. For me, it was just a matter of, oh, I'm stuck at home and feeling helpless. And it took me to a dark place where I was forced to face my thoughts, be with my thoughts, and then just wonder, okay, what's going to happen after this? How will this affect my future, my life? And it was a time of a lot of questions, uh, unsureness about the future. How long will this last? Because at first we thought it was just 3 weeks and it was just fun. Okay, get some free time. It's nice. It's fun. But after a while, then it was very uncertain and it took me to a very dark place where I was just feeling uh, depressed. I was feeling depressed to just sit, wake up, and not have anything to do. That after 2 months, close to three, but full 2 months, close to three, I actually called the company where I was at just to ask them, what's the plan? When are we getting back to work? Because I felt that I just needed to get back to having a purpose to wake up in the morning to go do something. So then eventually my manager, I called the HR and then they would ask my manager and it was a whole back and forth. Eventually my manager said, I can come back. So yeah, for me, it was a not so great time because I felt that this opportunity I had now is being cut short. And yeah, and also my family, then people got sick, like my mother got sick, so it was challenging on that front as well, where now this virus, okay, it's getting real. So that was also a challenging time, but a time for growth as well. I got to grow. I believe that challenges do grow. You do grow from challenges. So yes, I believe I've grown from that because we came out on the other side of it, and yes, we stronger, better, and yeah.
Wow, wow, you came out strong. I'm so sorry to hear about your mother being sick. However, I like the fighting spirit in you. Wow, I'm just blown away. Wow. You're so courageous. I see, I engage with a lot of young people, and I sense this giving up spirit amongst them, and you still pick up the phone, you call the company, you ask them where you stand, and that is just breathtaking because nobody can just do that. People just after COVID, people were just giving up. The uncertainty that COVID came with made many people just give up because of the restrictions. I think I was affected by the restrictions. um just being limited to go to certain places, if not coming back from the shops, and then you cough, you sneeze, and you think, oh my goodness, I have COVID-19, and you just be scared. For me, it brought so much fear. As much as it came with uncertainty, I had this fearfulness because I had four family members who had COVID, and that automatically brought fear to me. So I like your fighting spirit. I admire your courage. It's not many people can just take on a challenge and move with it. We sometimes want to spend time crying about issues, and here you are fighting, and you just continue going.
Can I just interrupt? I hear what you say, but actually, I've gone through periods where I just felt like giving up. I go through that a lot. The days are just different. Some days I'm just more motivated. Other days that's why I'm saying me being at home is not a good space for me, because I go through those moments a lot of times where I just feel like giving up, where it just doesn't make sense. Why do I have to be in this situation? And also in terms of being courageous, I've actually felt that I've lost a lot of courage that I had. Like the company where I was at, I feel that I could have maximized my time there. I could have networked more. I could have approached more people, and just not relied on the specific department I was in, that maybe something will come up here. I should have really been more courageous. And I had all those ideas of going to this people, different departments, but I was just not courageous to actually do that, step out of my comfort zone and do that. And I kept beating myself up about it. So I actually feel that I'm not as courageous as I used to be, and I should be, in, especially in my industry. And so thank you for that. Thank you. That will help me regain some of my courageous character that I feel that I've lost actually.
No, you have not lost any courage. I still believe you're courageous, because courage is not necessarily you beating yourself up. It's still having that will to go on. You can have good days, you can have bad days, but that will to just go on is courage. So you are courageous, but by, hanging on to that will and going on, because not many people come back from a a downfall. It's a very, very low number that would just rise above. So that will to go on, and you hanging on that will, is very courageous. That's why I commend you for that. And hence I say it's not many people that can just go on like that, because we do have days where we just fall apart. You feel that, oh, this morning I'm really battling to wake up, I'm really battling to go according to my to-do list. I'm falling off the wagon. Like I'm falling apart every day. And here you are, though you fall apart, the following day you get yourself together and you wake up and you fight for it. Hence I'm saying you're very courageous. And you know I just want you to, the last words, to just encourage young people out there. Any last words of wisdom to any young people on career breaks, whether forced career break, whether break based on family responsibilities, childbearing responsibilities? What words of wisdom do you have for them out there?
Well, to borrow something that you said, staying relevant, I would say try to stay relevant in terms of your skills. Whatever the reason it is that you're at home, try to develop yourself, keeping up with whatever career field you're in or you hope to get into. Keep yourself updated into the latest information, the latest skills that are required, and don't box yourself. Keep yourself okay. You also don't want to be too stretched, because as I've recently learned that we need to focus, but just don't only box yourself that no, this is what I did, this is what I can only do this. Explore other things. I would advise people to explore as much as they can, whatever it is that they're interested in, to up their skills, continuously upskill and learn new skills, and to stay relevant and well informed in the field you're in. And also network. I've realized the importance of network, because other times an opportunity may arise in a company where somebody actually can think of you, that I actually had interaction with somebody, and I think there might be an opportunity that you might possibly not come across on your search engines, on your career portals, but that person then calls you or lets you know that, hey, we have this certain opportunity in my company, would you be interested in this? And just networking has a lot of opportunities, or not opportunities, has a lot of benefits, whether you are working or whether you are still looking for a job or whatever the reason, because people, we are social beings and human interaction is very vital to us. So when you have a human interaction with somebody, it's so much easier to then convince them of your abilities when already you have that foundation of some sort of relation going on. So I think those are the 4 things I can advise people on. Just for myself also, that's what I've learned, that okay, I should do this and this. In terms of not giving up and staying motivated uh, and taking care of yourself mentally and emotionally, those are, I think, yes, they're also just as important. Just stay motivated and not giving up. For me, I feel like I don't have a choice, because I give up then what. So, but those are just more general, but specifically the 4 that I mentioned, that's what I would advise young people.
Thank you so much. So we need to stay relevant, continuously refine our skills, look after our mental health, and we should not give up, because I feel that, that giving up part, it hits me because many people give up because of their current circumstances. So I hold that dear to my heart. I will also implement it. So we need to stay relevant, refine our skills, look after our mental health, don't give up, and continuously build a strong network of people around you. Please build strong networks of people around you, and continue to, be active on Sherock as well. Let's participate and join Sherock if you must, to meet other women on this platform. And we thank you so much, Kgaugelo. We thank you so much for your time. We thank you so much for your words of encouragement to young people out there, young, old, women, men. We look forward to engaging more with you on the program. Thank you for your energy. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm wishing you well on your journey. And I hope you just come across beautiful opportunities. I hope they find you. They make their way they make their way to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for this opportunity. And I can really tell that this is going to be such an exciting journey. And I think a lot of opportunities, or just a lot of learning, and more than just the skills, but as people, that as individuals that are part of this journey, I think we are in for so much, So thank you so much for this time, and for being a part of this. I really appreciate it.